Hi there, Sue Stapp here with you again today. I just wanted to share with you a technique that I recently learned, and it's been around for a long time, and there's a lot of ways to do it. However, I came upon one of the other demonstrators who had an easy technique for the Joesphs colors, and that is a sponging technique, and we're going to do that here today. And I'm going to be using a card for fall, and this is what the card looks like when it's done. You can see how beautiful that is, all the colors. And yes, it's easy, I promise. I did one in a blue color too, with one of the hostess sets, and I thought that turned out great. I'm gonna maybe use that in the spring. I think that looks like a good spring card. And so the leaf one that we're going to do today, I'm using an older leaf set, but you could use any leaf set or any image that you'd want to uncover beautiful colors on. And I'm going to be using Balmy Blue and So Saffron and Pumpkin Pie. And I use those colors. There's only 3 colors, but when you blend your blue and your yellow, it makes green. So actually you end up with 4 beautiful colors under here. And you're just going to take a pre-cut card, and I have a scrap piece here I'm going to put under here because I really make a mess with this technique. You can tell by my fingers and hands, huh? So what you're going to do is I start off with 3 blotches, and I just want it pretty dense, so I'm going to rub that in there right into the paper so that it's nice and colorful. And I'll do the blue up here, and I do a little bit extra blue because, like I said, I'm going to add yellow and make a green color out of that. So I'll make these blue ones a little bit bigger than I would some of the other ones. And this is, like I say, it's really messy, but it's a lot of fun. So let's use the So Saffron and come in here and do some colors. And here's where I go mixing that blue and yellow. And you can see it's making a nice green color. And you have the yellow pop in the center. And let's do this corner up here yellow. The yellow shows through really nicely on this technique. And let's do the pumpkin pie here right in the middle. And if you have stamps that you want that has it more of a center than what these do, you can put your brightest color right in the center, and that would make a beautiful card. So let's put a little more yellow down here. This one here up at the top. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And I'm gonna set my ink pads out of the way so I don't accidentally put one of my cards in them. I've done that before. It's not pretty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some heat embossing. And we use heat embossing to create that extra pop. And what we're going to do is we're going to rub our embossing buddy over the card because we don't want our fingerprints to show up and get embossed. So I'm going to take some leaves out of this set and pull that off. And this one I'm going to need my bigger block for, so let's get that on there. And this one is the longer one. Really like that. And like I say, you could use any stamp for this. I just happen to like these because they have a lot of the open spaces, which allows the ink to get in there and really penetrate. Come on. My blocks aren't, oh, there goes my light. Hit the wrong button. Okay. Must have glue on it. Whew, I better clean my blocks. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to put that up there. And then there's another smaller one. And let's use this one. Kind of looks like a card that's a club in a deck of cards. And so what you're going to do is you're going to use Versamark. And Versamark is a clear, no color to it. And I want to put my big old pretty one right in the middle. I'm just gonna, now you can't really see where I'm stamping at on here, and that becomes a problem when you try and stamp up next to it. You might overlap it. So I'm gonna put some of these just around various ways. It doesn't, there's not a wrong or a right way. And I'll put that over there. And then I love these leaves here. And let's put that down here. And let's do another one over here. And let's do one over here. Okay, so I am set with my stamping. I'm going to set the Versamark over to the side and my stamps because I'm going to bring in my heat gun and I don't want any of those things to get melted. And what I'll do is I'm going to start this off, and then after I get started, if it's too noisy, I'll turn it off and we can come back to you in just a second. So this is the clear embossing powder by Stampin' Up. And what I do is I put it in a little tub, and that allows me to be a little more forgiving in my application. And I'm gonna just cover this up here. Now you will see it once it's on here, and it's gonna dry clear eventually when we heat it. So you can see where I've stamped at. Give it a little tap to get the excess off. Looks like we're covered pretty good. And let's go with that. And I'm gonna fire up my heat gun. A little noisy, huh? Let's see how long it takes to heat these up. What you're doing is you're actually melting that Versamark and making it into a liquid, and then it dries clear. And you can do this with a number of colors. There's all kinds of colors that you can use Versamark with. And the stamp pad, you can see mine has a lot of different colors in it already. Oh, I'm gonna love this, I can tell already. Look at that big orange leaf in the middle. Yay! Okay. And if your paper starts to warp up or pop up, you can always take it in the back and heat it up from the back, and that will tend to straighten it out. Okay, so we have this here. Now what are we gonna do with it, you ask? Well, the next thing we're gonna do might scare you, but have trust, it will be fine. And I'm gonna use Early Espresso, my stamp pad here, and I need to get a brown sponge. Let me grab one of those out of my sponge box. Okay, and what we're gonna do, and like I said, this may scare you, but you know, wait till you see the results at the end. And you just wanna make sure that it's dry and cooled enough, okay? And I'm gonna take this Early Espresso, which is a dark, it's one of our darkest browns, but I use it a lot in lettering and sentiments because it's not black, it's brown, but it goes on so dark that it has that impact of black without having the starkness. So, ooh, can you see the colors coming through? I love this technique. And here we go, this corner. And the more you rub in here, the better it's going to look because it'll have more of a contrast. And let's get this corner. Okay, it's looking good. Now, what we're going to do to really make those colors pop that we heat embossed is we're going to go over the top of this. And what's happening is this Early Espresso ink is sitting right on top of those. And so I think that's pretty good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little corner of paper towel and just go over it lightly, and it'll bring out that, take that Early Espresso off of the top of our stamps. Oh, look at those beautiful colors. Isn't that gorgeous? You can see up there. And it also has a nice shine to it because we use the clear embossing powder. Now, to make this card, what we do is we get our snail. I wasn't very well prepared this morning, was I? Okay, so we're going to get our snail, and we're going to, this will be a layered card. That's what gives it a lot of great impact too. And the way that it's layered is we have a brown layer, and actually I think this is chocolate chip. This one isn't the early espresso because I want it to, you know, look brown. So let's go over there. I wasn't going for that deep dark color on this part of the card. And we're going to put that on, and then we're going to put our Whisper White on top of that. And all the measurements that I've cut here will be on my blog. You can go to that at suestampingup.net. And then this one goes right on top. Now, if you wanted to put a sentiment in here, like hello, thank you, happy birthday, you could also do that and heat emboss it like that. Voila, we're done. Isn't that gorgeous? I hope you enjoyed this technique. Again, it's Joesphs coat. It's off of the Joesphs and the Magic Technicolor Dream Coat or something like that. And so I will be bopping out of here, and please stop by my blog, and you can reach me at suestamp1@gmail.com, or my website is suestamp.com. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you stopping by, and look forward to stamping with you again. In the meantime, happy stamping.